Hello. This is week one of the audio journal. But I guess technically the second one though. And I guess we've got a lot of things to talk about this time. I've always wanted these to not be too long. I imagined the one I did last week was going to be the longest, but I don't know. I especially over the week, I've sort of come up with a lot of things to talk about. It's been nice, sort of anticipating being able to talk, sort of at the end of the week. And yeah, I'm kind of excited. I guess we got a lot of things to clarify. I think when I cut up all my audio, basically I speak into Audacity for however long, and then I cut it up just to get rid of all the sort of dead air and ums and ahs and whatever. And when that's all done, I do sound a lot more confident than I am when I'm actually speaking into Audacity. I mean, right now I've said like a million times, and you're probably listening to this, and the actual audio recording I'm recording is probably twice the length of the video so far. So yeah, I'd just like to clarify that things are getting cut up, and that does sort of have like the unintended side effect of making things sound a lot more official and confident. And I'd just like to clarify, I'm not really an authority on anything. This is really just me, some naive 20-year-old who makes games on Roblox. Take everything with, I guess, a very large grain of salt. And yeah, I'm gonna be naive, and I'm gonna be stupid and things like that. But hopefully we'll outgrow it, and if not, I guess the world will outgrow me. And anyway, so yeah, I think there was a big boost of motivation after posting that first video. I think I really felt the sort of effects of wanting of being publicly accountable. I kind of had like a nice sort of boost back into working on the project, and yeah, it felt really good. I think definitely this week has sort of shown me that despite me sort of making these videos and being publicly accountable, sort of extracting some motivation from sort of public perception, motivation still has to very much come from within, and I can't sort of outsource it, or just by making these videos I can't just kind of go, all these imaginary people are going to keep me accountable. A big thing is just I'm not like massive on what other people say, and I probably saying that sounds like, you know, I'm really I kind of am, and I'm just sort of in denial, but I don't know, I'm not terribly a huge person on other people's expectations or just things like that. So there definitely is, well, because for a long time I was sort of umming and ahhing about if I should do sort of something to keep myself accountable like this, because for a long time I've heard lots of people say that it's really good, but simultaneously I always sort of try to acknowledge that motivation, you know, and the drive to make progress sort of comes a lot from within. And I don't know, I think especially at the time last week, I'm still fairly deep into this sort of personal rut I've been in, but I think at the time when I sort of started the series last week, I really felt the desire to just see if being publicly accountable would have any effect of things, and I think it definitely will. But I think I'm saying this even though it's the first week, but I think despite it only being a week, I do feel as if my expectations of you know, I always say public accountable, I really don't know how else to describe it. I'm really sorry, I've probably heard me say it a million times, but my expectation of the benefits of being publicly accountable definitely dropped a lot. But I think I'd still like to continue this. I think regardless of publicly accountableness, I think it's still quite useful. It's still quite fun to sort of wrap up the week, and I can just listen to these in the future, you know, which I think could be a fun task. So as I was saying, the motivation started off pretty nice in the week. It definitely did eventually dry up though, and I think I just need to sort of acknowledge that there will always be big boosts of motivation after posting these videos, but it's still up to me afterwards to sort of put in the work. And yeah, I guess just I should talk about what happened this week more specifically. I think Tuesday, Wednesday maybe, I finished the book I was reading. It's called Games People Play by Eric Berne. That was an okay read. It's more psychology and stuff like that, so it's not, I couldn't really share any fun information about it. It was kind of just like a hyper-specific psychology book, sort of about interactions between people with like sort of ulterior motives. Not like evil ulterior motives, but I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting read when I decided to buy it. I think as I was reading it, I sort of felt the not usefulness, especially at this moment in time, especially because I was reading that book for quite a while, and I was reading it mainly throughout the duration of the rut. I also don't know how to else describe rut. I think I have a very limited vocabulary, I guess. And I just felt I needed something a bit more useful rather than just like specific psychology stuff, and stuff that doesn't really concern me regarding my own personal motivation and progress towards goals and whatever. But I finished that, and I got on to reading Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, which is, I don't know if you know anything about him. Yeah, he's pretty intense, and I can't say I'm particularly relatable to him. I'm only, I think, in the third chapter. I think I've read the first 3 chapters, and it sort of detailed lots of his life so far. I think it's an autobiography. I didn't actually read the blurb. I just heard people say it was good. But yeah, I mean, it's not a particularly relatable book to me, but it was really nice to see sort of another perspective on, making progress sort of in your life. Because I think, especially that as it shined through in the last recording, I've tried to sort of take the path of least resistance with progress, not like trying to, cut corners, be like a con man about things, but to some degree, I do try to sort of analyze things and just think about just ways to make it as easy as possible for myself. I don't know, it sounds like I'm trying to, like cut corners and whatever. It's tough to describe it. But after reading just like a little bit of that book, he's very big on sort of discipline and just harshly sort of pushing forward, making progress, like screw however you feel, whatever. And I imagine, obviously that will resonate with him a lot more because he's got the sort of life previously that inspired that sort of mindset. But I think nonetheless, it's that book has also been a nice source of just like helping me find my way, I guess, in the dark. I guess I'll talk about a lot about finding my way in the future of this recording. But yeah, that was actually pretty useful. Obviously, I'm still reading it, but I think it feels like an important read for myself, especially because definitely discipline has been lacking recently, self-discipline. And I think just reading that book daily could just help get my mind back into a more disciplined framework, just especially because I think I didn't notice this, but I think a causation of the rut could have just been discipline sort of slowly lacking. I think it's lots of things sort of combining all together, but I think a big one is definitely discipline. But yeah, I guess as the motivation from posting the audio journal sort of dried up, reading that new book brought it back up, and that's been good. I guess new topic. I guess this sort of coincides with what I was just saying. I've been really interested in sort of just like getting away from a lot of short-term pleasures. I think a big component of the sort of rut is that I have just kind of been indulging a lot more than I probably should in just short-term pleasures, things like YouTube and social media, and just like playing like a video game whenever I feel like it. And I think, just matter of fact, I think it's just better to have a more delayed gratification focused mind. And I think times where you do just sort of like go, no, yes, okay, and then sort of give yourself that immediate pleasure are times where I think notably your self-discipline sort of heavily drops. So I've tried, it's not been perfect, but I've tried to sort of cut down a lot of that instant pleasure, most notably kind of phone time. I think that's always, I think everyone can sort of agree that that's time sapping. But next week, I'd really like to sort of just like really have like a harsh, just like no phone, or not at all, but a lot less, and then a lot less things like YouTube and stuff like that. And then maybe, I think it always helps to sort of have a reward, I guess. So maybe in the evening, I'll sort of put an extra focus on just playing like a fun game or something like that. I think that would just feel important, and I think coinciding with what the book I've been reading sort of talks about, I think just having that extra level of discipline could be really helpful. And also, I'm already sounding like a self-help channel, just recommending ideas, but I'm gonna actually turn it on right now. Black and white mode on your phone, really, really nice. It just sort of makes it like 10 times more uninteresting to look at. You wouldn't imagine black and white to have that much of an effect, but it oddly enough really does. Maybe it's just a personal thing, but I'll try and remember to keep that on more. Yeah, sorry, I got like a little notepad of things I wanted to talk about. That's how prepared we are. Oh yeah, so I guess we'll come back to sort of talking about the new book I've been reading. I'd like to sort of talk about hitching a ride on someone else's beliefs. This is something that I really almost need to get back into. It sounds a little bit scary and weird, just sort of like taking someone else's sort of beliefs and what they think in life and just sort of like integrating it within your own. But I think it's pretty useful, especially at least for me. I should stop saying you. I should stop addressing you as if like, again, as if I'm a advice channel. For me, I really like sort of doing that. It's probably sometimes the wrong choice, but especially as I am reasonably young and minimal progress or minimal experience with things, it's really nice to just be able to like find a role model and just like sort of look into them as much as I can, and then just sort of like figure out what they did and then just push that, or just like do that myself. Not like do that as in actions, but mainly as in sort of beliefs and so what they stand for. Not like politics, I'm explaining this poorly, but I don't know, just like how they see the work they do, what do they believe about it, and things like that. That's I'm describing this poorly, but I don't know. I guess we'll relate it back to the book I was reading. So David Goggins, he's very discipline focused. He's very, just like slap yourself in the face, get up, stop being a whatever. And I'm sure, everyone's got a different sort of belief system on what you do in times of toughness. But I think, especially as I'm quite young, and especially as I'm going down my own route. I suppose everyone is, but especially as I'm doing that, I think it feels really nice to just be able to find someone who you, I guess to some degree look up to, not in every area, but somewhat look up to, and just sort of take their beliefs and use that for your own. And I think I would like to return to that, because I think I always talk about this, I really can't stop talking about it, but especially before then, I had my role models, had their beliefs and ways of doing things integrated into my life, had confidence, was pushing through with them, and feeling good. And that, honestly, it feels weird to say in retrospect, but genuinely that was some of the most sort of productive times and most fulfilling times of this year, of last year maybe. And I think I've lost that, and I think again another reason for that rut. I really need to find the voices in the dark. I need to find those lights in the dark to just sort of help me go where I need to go, because I think especially for me, it comes through in the recordings, not feeling particularly self-confident. So I think it really helps to hitch a ride with them and what they think and what they what works for them and things like that. I think I acknowledge the fact that it's a flawed sort of way of thinking. You see characters like, I don't even want to say it, but you see characters like Andrew Tate, who have their beliefs about whatever, and then you see lots of young men just like hitch a ride on his beliefs, and then, well, of course he's got quite a flawed belief system, so obviously that's not a good thing for him and I guess his followers. But I guess I like to think that I imagine the role models that I have are good influences. This isn't to say that that doesn't sound very confidence inspiring. I do genuinely think they are, but of course it's everyone's first go at life, so it's really difficult to know. I suppose I'm just being too hyperbolic, but I don't know. I acknowledge the fact that it's a naive way of thinking, and maybe suboptimal, and maybe hopefully one day I'll be able to have my own beliefs that I can rest on, and I don't need to steal anyone else's, I guess. I need to actually conclude some things. I think I've sort of just been talking in this recording as if I'm flaunting my infinite wisdom. I think I need to bring this back to me. I need to stop talking as if I'm projecting. I guess I do want to clarify more about that. There's a psychological study about how talking about goals and talking about making progress comes across as fake progress. No, it's tough to describe, but it's like a study that there's people and they're all given the same goal, and then half of the people are told to tell others about it and talk about it and things like that, and then those 4 people that do talk about it make less progress or do not as good, because talking about sort of progress and goals and whatever does fill your mind with satisfaction. Instead of you getting pleasure from completing the goal, the pleasure comes from talking about it. So that's sort of, I think that's something that I definitely want to stay wary of. I think it's just to a low degree, I think it's present in these videos, and that was another big reason I was initially for a long while so against doing an audio journal sort of thing like this. But I do think I'd like to stay aware of it, and I do think I probably haven't stayed very aware of it in this video or this recording, but I want to ensure that I'm making progress and not sort of faking progress, and maybe next week I'll figure out how to do that more, and therefore I won't be sort of all bark and no bite, because I think with enough of these videos that's probably all I could become, and that's probably a pretty strong argument to stop doing these. It's only the second one, but I guess we'll stick with them, and I'd like to stick with them, and I'd like to try fend off any small infections of complacency within my mind. That was a strange way to describe it, I guess. So yeah, I guess I'd like to just kind of keep that in mind. Just remember, actually go and make some progress. Don't just talk about, oh yeah, I'm making progress, yeah. Hopefully I'm sounding a bit more happy in this one. I think the last one, I really didn't know what I was doing. It was just a bit scary. But I think especially just putting that out there and just putting it out there, I think it's helped me feel a lot more confident. but I think to some degree maybe that inspired a lot of overconfidence, and I think even this video has maybe sort of gone off the rails a bit too much. I'm gonna try again bring it back to me. There's a few more things on my list, but they feel a bit more personal. It's probably wrong to avoid them, especially because I need to be sort of personal in these videos. But hopefully, maybe we'll talk about them next week, because I guess this recording has already been going on for quite a while. But I guess lessons for next week, from this week and for next week. Well, first of all, keep reading the book. I think Stay Disciplined. Genuinely, keep it up. It's what will get you. I mean, everyone says, everyone says what is the thing that it's not motivation that will get you somewhere. It's the discipline. So I think keep up with that. Obviously, don't be full on Mr. Goggins or whatever. But I think yeah, you could just do it some more. Keep that up. Notably, just spend less time on the phone. Just keep it down, not volume wise. Just keep phone time down. That's very important, because that just sort of like saps your sort of motivation. It's kind of like, oh, why go do the work and get the delayed gratification when I can just go on my phone, get the instant gratification, and then waste time and whatever. My voice. I can't believe it's almost November. Is it almost November? I guess it's like 2/3 of the way through October, but that's really scary. I've been trying to fuck it, we'll talk about it. I would like the project I'm working on for it to have a 2025 release. Oh, no, wait, not 2025 release. That would give me a whole another year. I mean like a 2024 release by the end of this year. I just think that's important. As much as I really like the project I'm working on, I do think it's not going to be particularly, I don't want to sound like I'm all about profit, but I think especially as I've gotten older, I've become a lot more scared of the financial viability of wherever I want to go. But yeah, the project I'm working on, it doesn't expect profit, doesn't expect an audience. It's a learning experience. That's good. So I would like to get it out as soon as possible. And I think I need to stop treating learning as if it's sort of you've learned it or you haven't. In future projects, I'll still be able to learn. You got to say sort of infinitely learning and whatever. And I think especially for me, I think I just need this project out ASAP. It feels weird to do, especially because I wrote down sort of like a minimum viable product for this project, and that felt really weird to do because, again, it's a learning opportunity. I want to try to squeeze as much time with the training wheels on out of this project, but simultaneously I don't want to spend all my time with the training wheels. I would like to try to get out there and I guess have bigger ambitions, maybe. I don't know. And I suppose I need to stop just being so like risk-free. I suppose I need to actually, just go out there, take the risk, do the big project, and even though maybe you won't be ready, still do it, still learn. And I think a 2024 release would be very nice. I released this other project last year before the new year, and that felt really nice to do. It just felt nice to have like kind of Christmas, just sort of not as tuned in with development. And I think that would be really nice to do. It's going to be really difficult. You've actually got a long way to go, especially now that it's but a good way through October, I mean. But I think you should do it. I think if you can apply the sort of discipline that you're going to need, and I think if you can brush complacency out of the equation, I think you can do a 2024 release, and I think that would really set you up for a more focused year next year, because I think this year has kind of been, especially because it's been the first year of me trying to really go somewhere on my own. Not sounding like I'm super into it and whatever. I mean, I am, interested in it, but like not to say that the progress has been massive this year. I mean, it's been baby steps this year, honestly. But I think that's okay. I'm okay with the baby steps, especially because I think they've been necessary and they've been useful. But I think if you can get the project out before 2025, I suck with saying the year. But before 2025, you can have a lot more focus next year, and I think you could really go the places you would like to. That's not the way to describe it. What are the conclusions? What is the benefit for me of this video? Okay, 2025 release date. Limit short-term pleasure. Stay disciplined. Keep reading the book. Maybe just read it again after you finish reading it. Probably would go a long way. And also humble yourself. Remember what you're working with. I remember I don't know. I think I get caught up a lot in the infinite possibilities of life, and I find it very difficult to focus in on one. I do need to just shut up and just pick an option that I would like to focus on. Maybe not forever. I'm sure life will throw some curveballs or whatever. But I think for the moment, I need to laser focus in on the route I'd like to take moving forward in the future. And I think that sort of belief permeates everything I do. I think I'm a very sort of, I want to make sure this is the right thing. I need to just sort of like Leroy Jenkins, just sort of send it a bit more. I think I'm too much of I don't want to swear in these. It feels weird. It feels wrong to do that, but yeah, I guess I'm too much of a pussy. That's probably all. I should probably leave it there. I've probably repeated myself a million times. Hopefully, when you're listening to this in the future, hopefully you've again remembered everything I've said today. Keep at it, and I hope to all the. I think the last video got 17 views as of recording this. I didn't check. I haven't checked. I think that was maybe a few days ago, but I imagine it could be much more. Thank you to the 17 people. That was probably like 5 of those were probably me just being stupid. I don't know. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to the fans. What am I doing? Okay. Thanks for listening. Hope you're all well. I'll see you in a week's time. Goodbye.